bad shape. I can't deny that. But we're still in one piece. Enterprise is a tough ship. She took more than anyone could ask her to, and then some. And so have all of you. I wanted to say thank you. I only wish I could thank the 18 crewmen who were lost.
What's up, lore masters? It is really interesting to watch Enterprise's The Forgotten. Technically, there isn't a lot that happens in this episode, and yet it feels so compelling that the story is just... it's filled to the brim, or at least that's the sense I get. The two real themes that play here is trust and coping. On one hand, we have Captain Archer, who is attempting to convince the Xindi arboreals and primates that humanity is not their enemy. In fact, he's saying it's the sphere builders that are trying to destroy all life. And the other arc is the NX-01 crew who are endeavoring to accept that they've lost so many, that people so young with so much promise could just be gone. Before we get too deep into this analysis, there is one plot hole that I originally believed existed and was going to talk about until a rewatch. The more I think about it, though, the more it may actually be accounted for.
Pushy.
Scanning all frequencies. Nothing so far.
Maybe they're running late.
Tactical alert.
It's a spatial anomaly. We've entered a dense field.
Look to the bridge. This is not the best time for this.
Stand by, Trip.
At the beginning of the episode, we see the Enterprise encounter spatial anomalies. The NX-01 Enterprise is caught off guard and nearly takes damage from it. They compensate, and immediately after, we have Degra's ship, and it's never really brought up again. Why this is significant is because at the end of this episode, we see Reptilians finding the NX-01 and Degra's ship, and then Degra has to destroy them. This will play a somewhat significant role in future episodes. What ties all of it together would be, well, maybe the sphere builders were watching the NX-01, and perhaps after seeing what Degra was doing, hinted for the Reptilians to go looking for them. This would explain how the Reptilian Zindy knew to go into the cloak of a sphere to find them. I know there's future dialogue that makes it a little messy that it doesn't quite match up, but it would really be nice continuity. On the other hand, it could also be the way the Xindi travel, but I more like to think that this was an elaborate ploy. That's just me. However, I am getting a bit ahead of myself. Recapping, the NX-01 Enterprise has endured an amazing amount of damage that it still has, and the crew is just beginning to get everything put back into place to fix it, and they're barely able to do that. During this time, explosions are still randomly happening and people are getting hurt. The ship isn't even under attack, and they're still having casualties. And with the bulkheads falling around them, Trip is told he has to write a letter to a crewman's parents that had died. The crewman died, not the parents. That'd be kind of weird.
I have to confess, I've been putting off writing this for a while. I convinced myself that my duties on Enterprise took precedence. But the truth is, I didn't want to face the fact that someone so young, with so much promise, could just be gone.
This specific arc with Trip is really telling. Remember, in the last episode, he told Archer that the right move was made to strand those people. He had to know they were going to go meet Degra. Now, when the Xindi arrive, he can barely contain himself. He goes off on the former enemies quite a few times. This could just be script writing, a bad story, and them having him do what they need for this episode, but it does kind of fit. When Trip isn't close to the Xindi, and especially when he doesn't have to face them, it's really easy to say that they need to do whatever it takes to save the world, including being their friend. Now that he's forced to face these murderers, and look them in the eyes, having to work with them, his point of view may change.
Calculating the blast yields. Boy, you must have been pretty damn excited. I mean, that beam cut one hell of a swath through Florida. That's the name of one of the places you destroyed. Florida.
Why don't you join me in my ready room until they're finished?
Let's stick to the job at hand.
Looking at it from a different perspective, when we analyze Captain Archer and the Xindi, it's very nuanced. Archer is attempting to convince them that humanity doesn't want to destroy their homeworld. The differences in opinion between the arboreal and primate Xindi are pretty staunch here.
These tests only confirm the equipment belonged to the Reptilian.
There's also evidence of chronometric distortion, time travel.
The readings could have been fabricated.
You're determined not to trust him.
No more than you seem to be determined to believe whatever he says.
If I'm being honest, I do think that Degra is wanting the humans to be innocent. He wants absolution for what he has done. He feels like all the deaths are his fault, and while he did play a major role in it, he is wrong. His work is nothing without all of those who helped him, from the technicians to the council, but I can understand why he would feel like, nonetheless, it's all on him. I think the Arboreal is probably the more unbiased, though he is exceptionally unreasonable. Archer answers every one of their questions and provides circumstantial evidence. While the Arboreal has a right to be skeptical, what the hell does he exactly want? Does he need a signed confession from the Sphere Builders and Reptilians? I mean, will we need to get it notarized as well for him? To be fair, the fate of this planet and people are in the balance, so I do get it. However, he really will just have to accept that at some point, it's always going to be circumstantial.
Report.
We've detected a ship. They've just passed through the cloaking barrier.
On screen.
Reptilians.
Did you invite anyone else?
We masked a warp trail. I don't know how they found us.
None of that will matter though, as a Reptilian vessel appears out of nowhere, as I had earlier noted, and ultimately Degra decides to help Archer disable it. Once disabled, the primate Xindi kills all of the Reptilians on board, as you do. Degra states that the Reptilians would have alerted the council ultimately, but the thing is, right after this, he tells Archer they have to go to that council. So why did all of them have to die exactly? He could have admitted that he disabled the Xindi ship, and it probably would be a bit more sticky true, but it beats the hell out of killing them and then someone finding out. Let's hope that doesn't happen in the future. At the end of the day, the episode really just gets to the final stages of the season, but it is really great. If you haven't watched it in a while, you should. It's better than I can put into words. But all of these are just my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next Lore Reloaded.
Like you, they understood how important our mission is, and they accepted the risks. We came into the Expanse not knowing what we'd find, with no one to rely on but ourselves. But we're going to succeed, to accomplish our mission. For everyone on Earth who's relying on us, and for the 18.